welcome to Bookish. I'm Sasha.
And I'm Kendall.
And we're just two girls drunk on some bookish tea.
So sit back, pour yourself a cup, and join us in discussing all kinds of bookish gossip.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
We missed you. Welcome back.
We've been gone for quite a while.
Honestly,
Has it been a month?
Yeah.
Like,
In proper bookish fashion. We took an accidental month hiatus.
It's kind of crazy that we're still doing it.
You can never say we don't quit. We commit.
We don't quit.
We don't quit.
We just don't stay on routine. Like it's been well over a year.
Yeah, we had our 1 year anniversary, I think in April, so we're well over 1 year.
Yeah.
Go us.
Look at us.
Look
Not
at us.
quitting.
Not quitting.
That's
Thank
crazy.
you to all our listeners. I'm not going to list how many we have because it's none of your business.
They exist.
They exist, okay?
Yeah.
Just trust us.
They exist.
And thank you to our listeners who have kept on listening to us.
I wonder how many are repeats.
It's just us.
It's
We're
just
listening
us.
to our
Actually,
podcast.
I never watch the YouTube. I don't watch it.
Oh, well, I mean, I have to.
The past few podcasts, I don't think I've even listened to afterward. My brain is just, I don't have that. Okay, my car speaker doesn't work really. So, it got, smashed in, so the Bluetooth doesn't work. And then my USB also is broken now. So,
damn, girl.
Yesterday, I was driving to the thrift with my boyfriend, and he brought his speaker.
Oh my god, my friend.
That's what my friend speaker in the car.
My friend has a 2008 Honda Civic. That's what she has.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have a Bluetooth because it's too old. So she has a speaker. And I'm like, honestly, whatever works.
I took a photo of it, and I was just like, this is foul.
Well, you need to start listening to your Bookish Podcast Babe episode, whatever.
I know I do. Sometimes I get a little self-conscious.
No, okay, actually, I'm just messing with you because
yeah, do you actually you
don't
go
like
back
the
and
sound
watch
of
it?
I edit it, so I have to watch it.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna go back and watch it. I'll skip through, to make sure everything's fine and just to see what a viewer would see if they were, watching it. But especially the audio, I don't like the sound of my voice, which is funny because we have a little podcast.
We also kind of, when you listen to the audio, sometimes we sound alike.
Oh, we sound very similar.
But that makes it better for me when I'm not watching the video because I can't always tell who's talking.
And isn't that weird?
It's very weird.
People have told me that. I can't tell if it's you or Kendall talking. And I'm like, that's fair.
I learned something recently.
Okay.
My therapist told me about it. I forget what it's called. Interpersonal. It sounds like interpersonal psychology. That's definitely not it. That's not the word. But it's if you spend enough time with someone, you actually, your what kind of nervous system?
Oh, we're getting scientific.
It's a word for a type of nervous system.
Okay.
And when you spend a lot of time with someone, they align. So, not only do your voice, your mannerisms, whatnot, can become similar, but even your heart rate. And so sometimes
that's so cute.
But I was talking about it with her, in the form of couples. And so sometimes if a person you're with is anxious and you kind of feed off of the anxiety, it's because you are aligned. So if their heart rate spikes and they start getting anxious, your system will do the same thing.
Damn, my poor boyfriend.
Right? I was like, shit, that sucks.
Wow, that's kind of interesting though. But that's kind of cute. So you're meaning, your hearts are connected. Your nerves.
No,
are
literally.
I love that.
It's cute. It's also terrifying. But it's good to be aware of.
It's not a good day to be an anxious girly.
No, but there's a lot of studies that show that it goes deeper, than psychologically, biologically, which is that just sounds, I don't know.
That's crazy. That sounds like magic, doesn't it?
It does.
It's kind of like how women's...
two hearts become one.
Yeah, it's very poetic. And like how women's cycles, like
Sync.
if you hang out with like your girlfriends, you're gonna have like synced periods. Like that's just magic to me.
It's really weird.
It's so cute. I love it.
It's very
it's
girly.
It's like period cycles synced, but like your nervous system's like
yeah, it's less cute when it's like, oh no,
when
like
it's negative. Or like
yeah, it's like, oh no,
emotion.
like I'm having panic attacks every day, and then like and I can't self-soothe, and then like your partner will struggle to soothe or be, because you're like aligned.
That's crazy.
It's weird.
That's weird.
I wonder if that works with animals too, because you know how animals can sense.
Yeah, I think animals have like heightened senses.
But do you think they also like kind of sync to you?
I think so.
So then they get, I know like my dogs, like they get anxious.
Your dogs do get anxious.
And then when I'm anxious, they shaved my dog yesterday. Did Erica send you photos?
Yeah. Well, I saw it on her post.
Yeah. He was a little,
poor guy.
I think he had a couple mats. And so they were like, so he wouldn't be in pain getting a mat out, because that hurts.
That sounds painful.
They just shaved him, and he's old,
like, so he's gotta go.
He has a lot of like abscesses and stuff on him. Like he's bumpy.
Poor guy.
And has like weird skin patches, and you can just see it. You know, you can see his pink body underneath.
Oh, but he's such a sweetheart, though.
He needs a sweater.
We should buy him a Bookish sweater.
Oh my god, we should.
Oh my god. Christmas gift?
Erica could embroider something.
Erica could. Or you could like crochet him. We could literally crochet something for him.
Can you crochet?
I actually can crochet.
Oh.
Per your judgment. I can crochet.
I've never seen you crochet.
But
anything.
it's been like a minute.
Okay.
Like 10 years.
Well, 10 years?
It's like riding a bike.
And you're gonna judge me for not knowing that? 10 years?
Yeah.
I mean, I've known you.
You should know.
For 10 years, I think.
But the most I've made crocheting is a hat. And it was too big for my head.
I would love to knit.
Knitting is fun too. My grandma taught me how to do both of them. I can knit, and I can crochet.
I would love to. I would just like to be that person one day who makes, like, that mother who makes their children's Halloween costumes. I would like to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like that's cute.
One thing this Halloween, because we're recording this right after Halloween, I was just thinking, not that I am going to do this anytime soon, but I was just like, how fun would it be to be like, have a new kid and like they experience Halloween for the first time, and you're one of those moms or parent, whoever, like, who, you know, you just like dress them up and they have all these cute pictures. I was like, I'm so excited to do that.
As someone who spent her Halloween with 17 kids all day, in costume, getting them into costume, it's magical, but also very draining.
There was a butt coming after that. I knew it.
And like but it is magical, because like I also remember, and I've said I teach 4th grade, and in 4th grade I actually remember core memory. I think I was the Devil's Bride. And
that's so on brand for you. I could see like little Kendall being like, I'm gonna be a Devil's Bride.
Yeah, and it was like, it was really,
it.
it was a cute little fit, and I brought black lipstick to school. And
I
didn't have a mirror, and I was like putting it on. I had a crush on this guy, and like I like accidentally smeared the lipstick because I didn't have a mirror, and like all my friends were like, oh my god, Kendall, like, and I was like, oh my god, I got so embarrassed. And then this guy came up to me and he was like, I think you still look great.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know you thought of that for a while after that.
Yeah, it was a core memory. But I remember the frantic feeling of like being an annoying little girl. I don't mean it annoying. That's not right. It's just being a little girl, you know, and like you get all frantic when you do something like that. And I don't know, I saw that a lot. Like I see that on the daily, but especially on Halloween, like a little girl not having her wig put together, or we made a candy salad and and we recorded it too. We can do that.
That's nice.
And I don't know, like they would the little girls, after they would do it, they would go over to each other and they'd like, you hear them squealing in the background, like laughing at themselves because they're on camera. They feel so like embarrassed. It's like that little sheer.
Yeah.
You start becoming self-aware and self-conscious.
Yeah. That's that's literally when self-consciousness kind of starts, is that age.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so weird.
That's bizarre. That's so cool that you get to see that kind of stuff though.
It's magical, but it's cute because they genuinely do appreciate like the holiday and the magic and any effort you put in, but it's also like it's a child hyped up on candy. It's terrifying. I think I did actually say that day, I was like, the scariest thing in this room right now is your behavior. I think I literally said that. I
don't know why that's so funny to me.
I don't know. I thought I slayed with that one.
She ate with that one.
Actually, some of them like were like, "Ooh, Miss Reed."
They were like, period.
I was like, I meant it.
Like, a 4th grader hyped on candy hates to see you coming.
They don't want me there.
That's so funny. Okay. That was our spilled tea. We forgot to say it. Oops.
I
spilled the tea.
Yeah, that was spilled tea. This week was chaotic.
Yeah. In other news, I want to mention this in solidarity with anyone who has this experience. I was telling Kendall earlier that I think I failed my first exam ever.
Yay.
The ripe age of 21, and felt horrible, but I have a bad professor.
Are you saying in college?
Ever.
You've never failed anything?
I've never failed anything. I have like hyper anxiety.
My freshman year of college, I failed out of my Stat 101 class.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
I had to retake it myself.
Stat was hard though. I'm terrible at stat. I'm a calc girl. I'm not a stat person. Well, it does not make sense. Like, don't ask me to do that.
I was at a different school my freshman year. It was also during COVID.
Oh yeah, you were.
And the way they taught stat there was they actually taught it where you had to actually write stuff out. But then I took it when it was online, kind of during COVID, and it was all through a program. So it was essentially like, just pop out the answers for me, and I got an A.
That's great.
So yeah,
I'm proud of you. Yeah, I just like, my anxiety comes out in different forms, and school is one of them.
Different beasts.
Yeah, and like,
what would it look like as a mythical creature?
Like my academic anxiety.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's a really interesting question. I don't know. I think it would be like. I actually have no idea. What would yours be?
I don't know what my academic anxiety would be, but I told my therapist the other day that I've just been feeling a little burnt out recently, and I told her, I was like, this is gonna sound weird, but I think my brain right now looks like a burnt piece of spaghetti. And that is, I don't like, just like a little spaghetti in my head. Just one noodle.
Just one.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's like the creature I think of. Is like a little worm.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know, like a little.
Oh my God, yeah.
Cute little worm.
I have no idea. All I can think of is just like sheer panic. And like this time when I knew I failed this exam the second I walked out the door.
You think it'd be like a little goblin or like a little sprite, like a little.
Yeah, like something that goes like zoom, 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 like back and forth, like super fast.
Cute little.
Like cute manic pixie.
Cute little manic pixie that's just like.
She just can't handle failure.
Frying your brain. She's just panicking.
Yeah, she can't handle it. And I was literally like, I can't graduate.
That's stressful.
Like, that's what my mind immediately went to.
I mean, and it's a midterm.
And I was like, it was a midterm. It's not even a final. Like, it's fine. And like,
but even with
I didn't actually fail it. Like, the professor is just a bad professor. Sorry. I don't think he will be listening to this, but
in the case that
lovely man, like very nice, but it's just not my method of learning. That I can't just look at something and learn it. Like, I need to do it. And that's just not how he teaches the class. But anyways, That was a new life experience, and I didn't like it. I hate
Didn't like it.
I hate not knowing things, and I hate not feeling smart.
Yeah.
Like, that's just something for me, and I will go, like, and it's something so simple. Like, I don't like to feel stupid. I don't like to not know things.
Did it make you feel stupid? Or
it kind of made me feel stupid, because at the moment it did.
Like,
afterwards, I was like, I could tell, like, nobody in the class, like, did well. And, like,
sometimes if I don't like the subject, it's kind of like, I'm not stupid. I just find this boring, so I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was international finance. I don't find that interesting.
Yeah.
I don't find it, like, but for me, I can usually, like, pass the class without actually knowing what the fuck is going on. That's a good talent of mine. Half the time, I don't know what a stock is.
But see, that just proves you're so intelligent.
I think I can just BS.
You're just smart.
I can just BS it. I don't even know if it's smart.
Critical thinking skills.
That's true.
It does.
I have critical thinking skills. And
you could just not do anything. Yeah, but see, it takes critical thinking skills to be like, oh, I need to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people in this world who are incredibly deceptive are also incredibly intelligent. Not emotionally.
I wouldn't say deceptive. I would say just delusional.
See, but then it's
because for me, I'm like, yeah, I know it, but like, tell me to actually explain it to you, and I'll be like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I think it speaks to the different types of intelligences.
Yeah.
Intelligences? That is not it.
What's the plural of intelligence? I think it's intelligence.
Is it just intelligence?
Oh, it might be intelligence. Yeah, it just might be like sheep and sheep.
Intelligence. Different type of intelligence.
Yeah. Right?
That sounds bizarre to me, but intelligences sounds horrid. So,
yeah,
intelligence is
right.
Probably correct.
I think that's right. Anyways, let's get into today's topic.
Yeah, we promised this would be short.
We were like, yeah, guys, like, this can't be like an hour and a half long. We're going to stick to that.
I don't want it to be an hour and a half.
It's not going to be. Don't worry, guys.
Shopping.
She has to go grocery shopping. I have a paper to write. We got things to do. But let's talk about it. So today we're going to be diving into, if you will, some bookish hot takes. As a bookish podcast, we have to have some.
Gotta have some
Opinions. Yeah. And we're going to kind of go from least, like, deep and, like, controversial to, like, the most controversial and deep topics, if you will. So stay to the end if you want to get crazy.
I would like to express, though, that these are personal opinions.
These are personal.
And we don't... I don't judge.
We're not shaming or judging anybody. This is purely just us, what we believe, and you honestly...
What we would do.
What we do, like, how we think. And, like, if you disagree, that's fine. And you're not wrong for that. And we still love you.
Do what you want.
Do what you want. Life is short. As long as you're not hurting anybody,
just be kind.
Who cares?
Yeah, as long as your intentionalities.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. All right.
Intentionalities.
Miss Girl's coming up some words over here.
You know what it is? It's kind of, I think I'm starting to suffer from the equivalent of mom brain. Because I have to dumb down my words. Not dumb down sounds bad. But I have to simplify
your vocabulary.
My vocabulary.
Because you're around kids so much.
Yes, in order to communicate effectively. Because they do know what autonomy means now, though, and accountability. Because I made it vocab words.
I love.
So I could use them.
If you know one thing, you know Miss Reed, she gonna teach you some good words.
Autonomy is very important.
They're gonna be in, like, the next grade up, and they're gonna be like, essentially my personal autonomy is very important to my academic and mental well-being.
Yep.
Like, I think after I hang out with you, I say essentially a lot. I'm like, essentially, like, it's to do this and this and this. Yeah. And I hear myself, and I'm like, I think I'm hanging out with Kendall too. It makes me sound smarter, though, so it's okay. Anyways, first hot take. Which one is better? A Kindle, physical book, or an audiobook? 1, 2, 3.
I can't.
Physical book.
What? I mean, I can't.
I'm very opinionated on this one.
I mean, I love a physical book. As someone who has recently become a Kindle girly, part of the Kindle community.
Kindle with a Kindle.
No, it's so funny. My Instagram handle has been Kindle Read.
Kindle Read, I love it. Kindle has a Kindle. Kindle with a Kindle.
Finally have a Kindle.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I think a physical book trumps all. However,
I'm firmly on that
I
rock,
do
whatever
think
the saying is.
You are not less than for reading an ebook or listening to an audiobook.
Oh, no, definitely not.
But I feel like that's the perception some people have. Like, some people will be like, oh, you listened to it, that means you didn't read it.
Oh, well, that's just stupid.
I've heard that.
What if you're, like, dyslexic and you have a hard time reading? Like, listen to an audiobook, girl.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
It's still reading.
I just think nothing is better than the feeling of, like, having a cup of tea, a cup of coffee on a nice, comfy couch with a blanket, opening a book, and, like, fiddling with the book while you're reading. And, like, like, nothing is better than that for me. But actually, now that you bring that up, I feel like people online specifically have been like, oh, people tell me that, like, because specifically it's like audiobooks.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like, people have told me that I'm not a real reader because I listen to all my books. And I was like, people actually say that?
Yes.
Like, is that a thing? People actually judge you for listening versus, like, like, actually, like, reading it?
Because they're like, you're not reading. But it's like,
okay, well, that's just
stop.
stupid.
Stop being a hater.
Don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater. It's that simple.
The Kindle's great, though. It's increased my reading speed.
Yeah. I remember, you did say that.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
And it's just more
it's cheaper,
economically efficient than buying. Because, I mean, if you have Kindle Unlimited, $12 a month. And you know how much
cheaper than most books
gets you?
Honestly.
Huh?
$12 is cheaper than most books.
That's
right
what
now.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, and then you can get whatever is on Kindle Unlimited, which, I mean, I don't know for non-fantasy readers, but for fantasy readers, the selection is
it's good,
quite grand. So, I mean, you can't get, like, the Sarah J. Maas books or...
Oh, you can't?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
But...
It's a shame.
But
those are good to have physical.
Yeah, exactly. But also you can still buy books. And sometimes, I mean, I love having a book in my bag, but sometimes it's hard to carry a massive book in your bag. So having the Kindle.
Ooh, yeah, especially those big, fat 900,000 page fantasy books.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And for travel, like, you're not going to damage the book. But I've changed this is kind of controversial. People, you know, people are like anti-breaking spines, but some people like breaking spines.
Oh, yeah.
I would say I love seeing a book that's damaged because I think it means it's well loved.
I agree.
Like, I like a book with some coffee stains on it. I don't like people who break the spine when they first get it. I
think intentionally breaking it when you get it is kind of weird to me. If it happens, I'm not the kind of person that's like, like, I need to buy a new one.
No.
Like, I'm like, I mean,
it means
I would rather I didn't do that, but it's like, if it's unintentional, then I'm like, that's fine. Like, I thrifted my copy of Practical Magic with you.
Yes, yeah.
And, you know, she's got some coffee stains.
Yeah.
Her spine is broken. Like,
it's like, if
it's fine. Like, I didn't.
Us.
If that isn't us, back problems and too much coffee.
It's real.
It's real.
If I was a book, I would not be pristine.
No, we would have coffee stains. We would have,
yeah,
you know, we would have some issues. And I love her regardless. And she's very special to me. But
yeah.
I was just like, what was the point?
What was the main question?
What was the point? I don't know. Next question.
What was it?
Kindle versus book versus audiobook.
Oh, yeah.
I will say, last thing about this.
Oh, yeah.
This reminds me of this conversation a little bit. You know how in 10 Things I Hate About You? And they're introducing, like, the two sisters?
Yeah.
There's Kat, and the other one's, like, what's her name? Like, Brie or something?
I don't know.
What's the younger sister's name?
It's something like that.
Brianna.
Abbreviated. Is it abbreviated?
Like,
that's not her name, but...
No. I know what you mean.
Said Brie. I was like, don't get it twisted. Like,
oh, God, I can't... Okay, whatever. The younger sister in 10 Things I Hate About You, she's with her, like, best friend that turns out to be, like, a snake at the end.
Yeah.
And she's, like... And I think Cameron's the guy, and he, like...
Love Cameron.
He's, like... obsessed with her, and his friend is like, no, like she's just gonna like, you know, like tease you and like string you along, and they're like falling behind her and her like toxic friend, and she's like, you know, like the difference between like and love is like I like my Skechers but I love my Prada backpack, and the friend is like, but I love my Skechers, and she's like, that's because you don't have a Prada backpack. And I feel like that's right now, like I'm like, well, I love a book but I don't have a Kindle. That's because you don't have a Kindle.
I mean, but
that's just what my mind went to.
It's just, I think they're just so interchangeable based on mood, based on where you are.
Yeah, and like your lifestyle, honestly. Like if you travel a lot, I could like just get a Kindle. Like I totally get that.
And if you're not, like if you're, this will bleed into another question, but if you're like a homeowner and you have shelves and whatnot, then having a large collection of books, even if you're not a homeowner, if you're a renter, if you have space for books, then having books is great. But if you're someone who doesn't have space nor the finance, I mean, to be fair, you can always get a used book and not strain your finances, but there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Next question are special editions / book buying is the general topic.
Oh, great segue.
That was a great segue, actually.
Yeah.
I am not. I think there are very few books that I would buy a special edition for, but I think that's just me personally. Like, I know some people like to have multiple copies of the same book, but I'm like, for me, I just feel like you only need one.
I think they're great gifts.
Special editions are great gifts. Yeah, if someone like gifts it to you, then I can see, and that's not shaming people who do that. I'm not, but, and like on my, college student budget, buying books is not good, and I tend to just buy books just to buy books. It makes me feel good. I'm excited to read it, but like I'm trying not to do that because I know I tend to do that, which is a stupid sentence, but you know what I mean?
No, yeah. I think they're great. They're great gifts. If I don't know, because people will ask you, they'll be like, oh, what do you want for Christmas or your birthday? I think that's always, as a book lover, that's always something you could say.
Yeah.
Especially the Sarah J. Maas special editions. I don't know if they're still cheap, but
I think they're like $30.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising to me. Like, I would think it's more.
And they're nice. They come in a nice, like, stuff like that. Go for it. But personally, I'm not out here spending $50.
Yeah. Like, I'd rather, like, buy a new series I've been really wanting to read, or, like, I don't know.
I just don't have the disposable income for that.
Yeah. But also, it's just, like, it seems wasteful to me. Yeah. Like, and that's why I don't do it. Unless it's, like, one book I know I'd like to reread, and I've already reread it, and I'm like, oh, well, let me, I don't know.
I've noticed with my favorite books, I do have multiple copies of them. And often why I have multiple copies of them is because I've lent them to people, and then I don't get them back, and then I have to buy another copy.
Yeah.
And then I get those back. So that's what I've found. I don't think I have many special editions, though. A signed author copy is different, though, I would argue.
That's different.
That's very different.
I would say that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because that's special.
It is special.
Special edition, they're just trying to take your money. They're just trying to take your money.
My thing with special editions is, like...
Unless it's, like, a 40th year anniversary or something like that.
Yeah. But also it's, like... I kind of wish they didn't just do the first book of the series. Like, when it's a series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I could, I would like to buy, like, one of my favorite books, Court of Mist and Fury. If they had a special edition, I would buy that.
Well, I will say they do the, like, the subscription boxes, the Owl Crate and the Fairy Loot, those special editions that they do just for their boxes
those are cool.
Stunning.
But those are expensive, aren't they?
Huh?
Aren't those expensive?
Honestly, when I look at it now, it's not that bad. If you have a full-time job and like a little bit of disposable income, like even a little, just like a little bit of disposable income, because it's like the boxes are honestly like $30.
Oh,
There's
I was
something
thinking
like
about
that.
the
They're
ones
like
that are like
35. They're not like
Yeah.
$60.
there are some that are like $75,
Yeah, that's
$80,
crazy.
and those are the
That's-
only ones I've seen. But those are like
Actually-
custom art. Those are, and I'm like, I understand why it's
Those
so
are
expensive.
gorgeous. But again, I also think those are gorgeous gifts. I
Mhm.
think, and again, do what you want. But
That would be an amazing
you will
gift.
not see me battling in a Facebook page for a limited edition.
Yeah.
And that's just because money-wise and also on principle. But then it's like, again, Throne of Glass, I have a special edition.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking love that series
But you,
to
yeah,
death.
yeah.
So, like, yeah, I want the special edition.
Mm-hmm.
I would love a first. Like, I'm glad it makes me feel special to have the older covers.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
It does. And I want the new covers, too.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone's watching this and wants to get me a Christmas present, if you want to get me the full collection,
The
which is
full
not that
set.
expensive.
No.
It's like $60.
Yeah. For like what, 8 books? 7
Yeah.
books? I really want to reread Throne of Glass this year, or this upcoming year, 2025. And I'm like kind of excited at the thought of that because there's some small things that I forgot about because I've reread ACOTAR multiple times. But just because it's easier to reread than Throne of Glass, but I feel like I just loved the plot for Throne of Glass and the character building and whatnot.
I
loved it so much.
I try and reread it. I don't do a full series reread,
Mm-hmm.
but I usually start at Heir of Fire and I'll go up.
It almost feels like 2 different series. Like the first 2 books feel like a different,
Yeah.
and then it
They
kind of
feel more
starts
young
Heir
adult.
of Fire. Yeah.
And then they, get more complex. I'm trying
Yeah.
to look at how much these are.
The like boxes?
Yeah, I'm looking at Owl Crate right now. Let me
Mhm.
see. No, not books only. You know what? It doesn't matter, but I'm pretty sure last time I checked, it's really not.
That's honestly not bad. $35.
I could be wrong, though.
It's not like I'm getting one anytime soon, though.
I'm pretty
Honest.
sure they're, like, around that, which isn't that
It's not bad.
horrible.
All right, next question. I guess this one's kind of a question. Can the movie really be better than the book?
Sometimes. But I feel like they're just very 2 different mediums.
Yeah.
So
I
I
would
think
say-
the appreciation is just different.
Mm-hmm. And it's what was I gonna say? Oh my god, I just glitched a little bit. I think I like it when the movie is just as good as the book, but I wouldn't say
do it justice.
yeah, and like when
Yeah.
it really captures everything you imagined, but also like the author imagined. But I can't think of a situation where the movie / TV show has been better than the book. I think it can be equal,
Yeah, because
I can't imagine it being better.
Because books have more detail, but then movies, it's such a different medium that it can add a whole different layer of appreciation because now you have that, especially if you're someone who has struggles to visualize when reading,
Mm-hmm.
that can add a whole new layer of
Yeah.
visualization and artistic appreciation because they're taking it from the author and like reinterpreting it.
Yeah.
But nothing's worse than when they make a
They
show or a
botch
movie
it.
and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Nothing worse.
And that's why I kind of don't want ACOTAR or Throne
don't
of
want
Glass to be
Mm-mm.
adapted into a movie or TV show.
I
would be happier if it was a TV show. Like, ideally, I would say
Outlander.
animated. I would say animated.
Animated.
Like,
That'd
adult
be cute.
animated
I like that.
TV show is what I would prefer. Or even, like, if they did it, like, Game of Thrones style, like, okay, sure. But
That's what I mean. Like if they did
don't know,
a Game of Thrones Outlander vibe, that's the level of care.
yeah, it would need,
And
like, HBO level
it-
of production.
Yeah.
And, but
Anything less. would be
anything
so
less,
bad.
I just think it's a waste. And I really, like, I think the ACOTAR show got canceled
Yeah.
From Hulu, I think it was Hulu.
Hulu would have botched
but
it.
I'm
sorry.
I'm happy that they canceled it because I was like, I don't really want it to be live action, to be honest. And I didn't want anyone but HBO to make it.
Yeah.
And I was
agree.
You know what, if they were gonna, at that time they were still in production, and I was like, I don't really want to watch it. Of course I would probably cave, knowing me, because I like to just judge it, but sometimes like they should just stay as a book.
I also fear sometimes that it'll warp what I created in my head.
Yeah.
And that concerns me.
Kind of like...
So if I don't agree with the casting or something,
yeah,
I'm going to be like...
Or it's just going to... Yeah, it's going to warp your vision of what, like, the scenery and the character is supposed to look like. Like, now, I can't... In terms of Harry Potter...
Oh, yeah.
If I when I read it, I had already watched the movies so much as a little kid. Mm-hmm. Because I read it when I was, like, late elementary school.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of warped for me, and I now, I mean, I have it already solidified as, like, the actors' faces and stuff. And I kind of wish I was born in a different generation, so I could have read it without, the movies or anything coming out.
Yeah. But Harry Potter is a great example of fantastic movies.
Harry Potter.
Outlander.
Hunger Games. Outlander. Game of Thrones,
yeah.
And those are the main ones. I will say.
Hunger Games I was very happy, and I read the books before.
Very well done. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, because that one came out a little later in our youth.
I also liked Divergent. I didn't watch the other movies, but the first one I did.
The other two movies were not good.
I didn't.
They never finished Allegiant. They made half of Allegiant, and then the other half they just never finished.
And the thing is,
That's the best part.
I liked Insurgent as a book.
Yeah, Insurgent was good, but the movie was just botched. And I have rewatched the first, the actual Divergent movie multiple times. That's a comfort movie.
Fault in Our Stars, I thought, was also actually pretty good as a movie.
I don't think I ever watched that, to be honest.
It was one of the first young adult books that really brought me to tears. I have the core memory of crying in my basement reading it.
I remember people were John Green was so
he was
so it at that time and in that age group. And I don't actually remember if I even read the book.
I
didn't see the movie though.
It's also so interesting that John Green, the majority, I could be wrong, the books I read though, the majority of his protagonists were young women.
Yeah.
And I just wonder how he got in that headspace. I'm wondering, as an adult woman, if that just felt weird saying adult woman, if I read them now, I would think is this written by a man or not? Mm-hmm. I'm curious.
Usually, I feel like now that I'm older, I can usually tell when it's written by a man in the perspective of a woman. Example being Crazy Rich Asians. I
loved that book.
Did not like the book.
When did you read it, though?
I read it when I was a little older. I read it 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, I read it when I was in early high school.
But it's it's not like a YA kind of book, is it? It's for adults.
No, I think
and I was like,
for adults.
Again, no hate for anyone that likes this book. Oh, it was purely the writing. Just knowing that it was a man writing it. I remember this line.
Because you reached that level of consciousness.
I think so, but I'm like, this is for adults, so why should it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just it bothers me when, men just, simplify, women. And, it was just,
I want to know how
it was a very broad statement,
the men feel when women write men.
Yeah, actually,
I've never really heard that perspective. Ever. It's always I'm very curious. Well, it's because women naturally usually are better at empathizing, so maybe they can get a more wide scope of emotion. But I don't want to say that and be wrong. I'm curious, are there men who hate
male characters
written by women?
Yeah, the way that the female author portrays the male character, I guess.
Which I think could be super valid because a woman doesn't know the male experience. So, necessarily.
Necessarily, yeah.
So,
just, the way
intimately.
the way that Crazy Rich Asians just bothered me to the point that I put it down because
I'm so curious.
It was so clear because no woman would ever think the things that he was like making. What's her name? Rachel. Like, no woman would ever act like that or actually think that in real life. And I was like, this is so stupid. It felt like a fantasy woman thing. And I'm like, no. Like, I'm not. I remember the line. There was one line that was like, I saw him, like, Nick is the guy, right?
Yeah.
Nick Young.
And she's Rachel Chu.
I love, okay, this is actually,
do you like the movie? I take
my previous statement back. I adore that movie. Did not like the book.
Yeah, that movie.
So in that case,
comfort movie for me. I love that movie.
Yeah, so I take back my statement. Oh, my headphones are falling off.
Curious though, who was the director? My statement. Is there like a woman executive producer? I think the woman directed something?
No, I'm gonna actually fact check that.
Yeah, because that would be. Oh my gosh! Can I just say, director. This is entirely off topic.
Oh my god, it was a man.
Oh, it was a man?
Yeah. Oh, he's directing Wicked.
Oh, well, and he's just a star.
He directed Now You See Me Too. His name is John M. Chu. That is so interesting. That's, yeah.
But what about the producers?
Producers. Let's look it up.
Like executive producer. Men?
2 men and 1 woman. Well, I mean, that's so interesting.
And writers. Because it's different writers as well. Yeah. So that adds to it.
Yeah. It was one woman and one man. That's so interesting because, like, yeah, so I was saying the one sentence that I was like, what the fuck is this? It was like, there was Nick standing there, like, my knight in shining armor, and I couldn't imagine anything better. And I was like, what in the actual fuck are you talking about? I love my boyfriend dearly. You will not catch me saying that he's my knight in shining armor and he's there to save me. And that's simplifying my view right there, because there were other things that I didn't like in his writing. But that line just stuck with me, and I was like, what the fuck do you think women are thinking? Do you think this is how women think?
Do you think some women think like that?
If you do, that's fine. But
no, I'm just
it's just like, again, simplifying it, but I was just like, it bothered me because it was just
use
so...
a different metaphor.
Yeah, it was just so unrealistic, and it bothered me, and I was like, again, I liked the movie, and I had seen the movie before I read the book, so maybe that's why...
You know what just, like, entered my head?
What?
It's like, maybe we just need a different word. Like, what if instead of, like, my knight in shining armor, you're like, thank God for, like, my war goblin or something? Like, you know, like, because then it would be more appropriate. Like, thank God for my, like, rat boyfriend. You know what? For, like... saving the day.
Oh my god.
For, like, getting into the cracks. I would have given it
a 5-star review.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like, what if we just change the word? Because I think it's
rat
just...
boyfriend is wild.
It's like, he came in and he, you know... Because rats are sneaky. Like, he got me out of there. You know, he...
Yeah. My rat boyfriend
he got me out of there.
Once again.
I'm just saying, if we changed... the word, I feel like it would be more, because I don't have an issue with being supported, even being safe, because sometimes you need I'm sorry, sometimes you need a little, I guess saving sounds like you have no,
you need a little support,
autonomy in it, but at the same time, like, I don't know, there's people in this life who have saved me, and I guess we're just trying to get away, because that is a trope of, like, women being saved by men, and that is not
and I just think that trope kept coming up. We just need a different, and I was like over it.
I was like, a different analogy.
12.
I really like the war goblin one.
I like the rat one.
Rat
or war goblin?
Rat or war goblin?
That's the question. We can do a poll.
It just sounds more funky that way.
Funky,
more girly. Because
it's more girly pop.
The woman needs to make the new name. Because then it feels like it's ours.
Yeah,
you know?
And I just don't think a man should be writing that. Like, it's just
not. Also, knights are probably, like, gross and smelly for real. So let's just own it and say war goblin or rat.
Actually, knights are pretty sweaty. Apparently. Shout out to your cousin for that one. I was educated. All right, next question.
Oh, wait. wait, I got off track.
Okay, sorry. I just
wanted to mention this because I saw it today.
Mention it.
Anna Kendrick, I think, made her directorial debut in that new
the
serial
new
killer
horror movie. Yeah.
And I found out today, which I watched. Did you watch it yet?
No, I've been wanting to watch it.
It's very good.
It's good.
But I found out today that because it's a movie about a serial killer and she really is trying not to like paint the serial killer in a light where people hyperfixate and want to be him.
Yeah.
She is not profiting at all from that movie. She's donating it all to like a woman's fund for women who have been victimized.
How lovely.
By men.
Well, not that being lovely, like that she's donating
but like, isn't that? I was just like,
wow.
You
don't see a lot of people like that these days. I mean, I don't like glorifying any celebrity or public figure, but that's a great thing to do.
I don't know. That just popped into my head. I was just like,
great.
wow. Because when we were talking about directors, I was just like, oh.
I've heard a lot of good things about that movie, and a lot of director choices that she made were like very unique and like intentional in how she portrayed like women in like a serial killer movie.
It was very good.
I want to watch it. I also want to watch The Watchers, that movie on HBO Max. I haven't seen that yet, and I really want to watch it.
I watched a movie called Strange Darling. Have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
I think it's by Shudder or A24. It's one of them.
I love A24, but they creep me out so much. They scare the fuck out of me.
It's both Shudder and A24 are slaying the game now.
Yeah, they're slaying.
It's called Strange Darling, and it's actually same vein like serial killer. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's a twist on serial killer, and it's, it's filmed in that kind of like trippy, like it's all on film. I know nothing about film, so
I don't really either.
Me saying it's on film, I don't know what kind of film. Anyway,
like physically, it's actually
like it's
on film,
and it's
cool.
It's just very, it's like artsy. It's really good though. You should watch it.
I'll watch it.
Yeah,
I'll put that on my list.
Yeah,
you should too.
You should too.
Yeah. Next question. Thoughts on DNFing?
See, Sasha and I discussed all these topics before.
I liked your answer when we talked about this earlier.
Yeah, I've always been passionate about DNFing. I have no shame to people who DNF, because sometimes a book does not resonate, and you know what? You never know how much time you have on this earth, so
that's very
spend
deep.
your time wisely. Don't read a book that you hate. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But my rule is, it depends how long it is. So if it's like if you're reading like YA fantasy, adult fantasy, first book in a series, right? It's going to be around YA more 300, adult maybe 450, 500, right? I'd say 300 pages, read the first 100 pages.
Yeah.
And then DNF. Or if it's a larger book, maybe 150, 200. Like, I'm not good at math, but like maybe read.
It's like a fourth.
Right? Yeah, I was going to say a quarter. I was like, is that a quarter? Like a quarter.
Is that a quarter? That is a quarter.
No. I know one. I know that. I meant like I was going to say a quarter.
A quarter sounds more like.
I feel like it'd be like a little less.
Yeah, a quarter sounds less than 1/4.
Because
to me,
150 would be half if it was 300.
300. Yeah.
So it's like a little more.
A little less.
I don't know. Anyways, we're not going to get into math. Like I said, girls, failed stat freshman year. But yeah, I think you should always, because sometimes it's just slow in the beginning, and there's a lot of books that drag.
And like world building, if you're reading like a lot of fantasy.
Yeah.
I think that's a good rule, and I would say that I also abide by that.
Because I feel shitty if you just missed out on an incredible book because it dragged for the first 100 pages, and the last 200, 300 were crazy. Incredible.
Yeah.
You'd feel horrible.
Yeah.
Don't feel horrible.
That's like, it's like sometimes I have like anxiety about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, but what if I miss out on this amazing, which is like kind of stupid to have anxiety about something like.
It's kind of like FOMO.
But it is, that is a great way of describing it. Yeah. It's like FOMO. I think the last book I DNF'd, which I'm not proud, it's okay.
I just don't want you to hear me gulping.
She's a, the last book I DNF'd, I was like really sad to do it, but I'm not gonna like fully DNF. Like, I'm gonna go back to it, and like I put a little sticky note and I wrote it down. I wrote what's going on was the second Outlander book, because it was so long, and like that's when like Claire and Jamie are in France, and it's kind of like she's going to the hospital, working in the hospital, she's getting her herbs, she's going back to the hospital, she's getting her herbs, and I'm like, I am in college, I don't have much time to read, and sometimes I don't want to be reading this, and I just felt so guilty for putting it down, because I know it's good, but it's just like I'm in such a lag, and I just didn't want to like feel like I'm wasting my time, because the longer I drag out books, the less I'll like it, and I know I do that.
But
so
doesn't
I'm like,
that just suck that we have that feeling of insecurity surrounding not finishing a book
so
because of
it
being overly hyped? Like, I hate that, because it's like,
I just loved the first book.
Some people
and I was like
I don't know. Book, some people don't like a book, but I'm not gonna lie. Kingdom of Ash took me, I think, like 6 months.
That was a big one.
That took me like 6 months, because I mean, it was during a time in my life where I was very busy, and there is a big portion of that book where it just like a lot of building to that final battle, and it just took me a minute, and then once I got really sad and I had time to like escape into something, I finished it, cried, loved it, but like, you know,
I think with Throne of Glass and ACOTAR in a sense, but Throne of Glass is like more, you need more attention and more time. I'm just happy that I read it, because I read it during the pandemic, like the beginning of the pandemic, when like you really couldn't do anything. And I think that's the only reason why I was able to finish Kingdom of Ash so fast, because I had so much time. Like, I was a senior in high school. Like, you don't even have anything to do. And then put it online, you don't have anything else. So I'm like, I don't know. There are books that, like, Crescent City 1, she was hard to get through. But when I got through it, like, really good. Like, I really did love that book. But I don't know, like, with Dragonfly and Amber, I was like, I know, I watched the show, I know the second season is good, and like I really liked the beginning of the book, and then like it just like it felt like it was lagging, and I'm like, I do like when authors take their time with things. Like I can appreciate like describing the scenery. Like, I'm not one of those people that gets bored easily. I really don't. I don't mind if you describe a door for a page.
Oh yeah, do it.
I'm fine. Like, show me how.
I want to know what that knob looks like.
Yeah, tell me what that handle looks like, you know. But like, I don't know, and I just felt so like guilty about it. I was like, oh, I'm not.
Well, you also get your
hope, girl.
It's just so like false. You're reading. It's just so sticky and ugly, and I don't know. If you're out there, just I don't see a lot of people judging around DNFs, but like, if you do, don't like. I just see. Our opinions right now are not us judging. They're just us sharing.
It's just sharing
what we do. So I'm just saying, don't ever judge how people read.
Yeah.
Like, speed. I see people being like, oh, I got through the series in a week. And then
girl, like, what?
And then we'll be like, oh, it took you like 2 years. Like, don't be that person. Just no.
It's just not a competition.
It's and making it not into a competition
that deep. That's just like,
it's a hobby, girl.
It's from the internet. I swear.
It
like,
is.
Without the internet, I don't think that would be a thing.
I don't think, unless you're like in a class, you know what I mean? Like a classroom setting. And
but then it's like not a hobby. Then it's like,
yes, then it is, you know, for a grade, and there's an expectation. It's for work. But just, it's so ugly. Don't ever, if people are reading,
just like,
they're reading.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And I think with some of these series, it's almost like celebrities where there's a weird parasocial relationship, like with the author, with there's ownership of.
Oh, for sure. I am guilty of that.
No, I'm self-aware.
Guilty.
I'm a little like, guilty.
I'm better than you.
It's like when your favorite music artist goes mainstream and you're just like, oh, it was mine. But like, it's also like, it's still your experience, and I think everyone bonds to characters and things in different ways, and but it is kind of parasocial, and it's like, it's guys,
weird.
Just chill. It is an intimate experience, but like, never make people feel bad for how they go about it. Yeah. It is just not that deep.
It's not that deep. And at the end of the day, like, it's just not worth, like, tainting yourself and, like, being judgmental and having got the kind of, like, nasty
why would you want that energy?
Like, it's just like, I catch myself and I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, I just need to really pull myself down couple pegs. It's like, and you just need to, it's just not that deep. Because I had people do it to me. I'm like, oh, so why would I do that for someone? You know, like,
I've had people do that to me and I'm just like,
just not,
so I can't like something?
Yeah, like, oh, I can't be a slow reader. Like, I can't take my time. Like,
it's also like, yeah, it's just like really judgy and weird and mean girly for no reason. So don't be a mean bookish girly or boy.
Don't be a mean bookish. Here at Bookish Community, we are loving and accepting.
I literally just don't care what you do. You know, like, I want you to,
we're
in
not
the sense
a regular
of like,
mom. We're a cool mom.
We're cool moms. I just like don't care. Like, if it takes you forever, it takes you no time, you don't finish a book, or you spend all your whole paycheck on special editions, I don't care.
We don't care. Live your life, girl.
Exactly.
Or guy. I don't know.
Period.
All right. Last question. Is banning books ever justifiable?
Oh, yeah. We were talking about this one.
Yeah. This is a hard one.
Sasha and I, again, we previously discussed this. I think, like, in the traditional sense of how they ban books, I think, and the criteria, it's, like, kind of, like, no. Like, don't.
I think, like,
it's
in the
criteria
U.S.
That's almost more problematic than the act of limiting certain people's access
to certain people's experiences. It kind of feels like, in the traditional sense of what we're talking about, like banning books, like banning To Kill a Mockingbird, like The Bluest Eye, whatever, like Fahrenheit, what is it, 451, which I recently read. I liked it. A lot of people don't like it. I like it. Like, in that sense, I say no. Like, it's not justifiable. It's not like you're limiting this book because of its, like, almost because it's, like, controversy and it's, like, bringing an ugliness that some people don't want to see.
It's more like people don't want to talk about.
They just don't want to think about it. They don't want to talk about it. But I would agree with you, like, what we said earlier, like, for example, a book with a lot of sex in it, like, maybe
or a lot of violence,
or a lot of like heavy topics like suicide or like torture, sexual assault, drug use. Like, I can understand why some counties, some schools, whatever, would be like, they don't want to carry that in their, like, children's library. Like, would I have eaten ACOTAR up, like the whole series, would I have eaten that up when I was 10 years old? Yeah.
Probably,
100%. I loved that shit. But, like, looking back, I'm like, I don't know, because sometimes, like, unlimited availability of content is a great thing, and sometimes it's not. And I'm like, I would say with age restrictions being the age, like a young age being the reason for restricting content, I would, but then I'm like, oh, but then it could be they're too young to learn about, like, social issues. So I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it depends on the setting. It depends on the institution. I think if it's a public institution, like a public library, I don't think there should be an age restriction. You know, like, if your kid's out here reading ACOTAR at age 10, maybe let's practice some more parent censorship, you know? Like, in that case,
also, like, is censorship ever, like, really beneficial?
I think as a parent, there are certain, I mean, I'm not a parent, but I think as an adult, if you are taking care of a child, there's probably certain content that you are able to, as a parent, be like, probably better not right now at this age, because you have that autonomy. I don't think a state or a system, like a federal system, should be stepping in and being like, you, like, to censor content like that.
Yeah.
To a degree, though, because censorship is a bigger issue.
It's hard. Yeah, it was a hard question.
As a 10-year-old, should you be reading, like, there's some heavy like, if we're talking about the ACOTAR books, there's some heavy topics, and, like, I'm sorry, like, some kids, like, should not have I've just, in my own experiences, now seeing, like, kids who are more exposed to the internet and stuff, some of the ways they, like, express themselves are, like, how a 17-year-old expresses themselves. And I'm just like, no. Like, kids are also at different maturity levels. Like, every kid's different. I just think as a parent, there are certain things that you need to step in to protect your kid or know what's best for your kid. Like, I would not want if I had a child, like, at 9 reading some, there's just, because you need to read the classics first and build that grief. There's a reason why kids read about, like, animals dying before they read about people dying. You know, like, there's, like, psychological stuff surrounding that, because it's easier for them
to, like, understand.
There's certain, like, criteria people meet at each age, right, that they can grasp. Some kids you do not have the emotional maturity nor intelligence to understand certain things, so then you take it out of context and then it becomes dangerous. But I don't think it's a district or government's responsibility to
like, make that decision for parents, kind of, in a sense, if you're gonna
because I feel when I think of banned books, I'm more so thinking of you think of it more in school systems, because, like, you're not banning me from going on Amazon as a 24-year-old and ordering, I don't know, like, ACOTAR. Like, you're not doing that. So it is more,
I think today it's becoming different, like, newer books being banned. I feel like, and I could be wrong about this because I don't have extensive research to back this up. This is purely in my opinion. It feels like older classics being banned for different reasons than books today. Like, newer books are being banned.
I agree.
And I think that's kind of interesting. Like, I'm
justice.
Yeah.
It's more on.
And I'm more, like, against them banning, like, classics almost. Like, I'm like, some of those things, like, and I am happy with, like, the way that, like, because me and Kendall went to the same high school, and I think we did read, like, different books because we're, like, different in ages, but, like, I am happy we read a good amount of banned books in high school, and it, like, it's something that I think people should do. I think you should read banned books when you're an adult, or, like, emotionally mature, and, like, because some things, it's, like, it's kind of, you need to have that maturity to understand it and, like, fully, I don't know, like,
process it
as I get older, and, like, gather, like, make a
relate, and because it's just, like, I've read some books that definitely should probably be banned. See, I don't think banning an artistic interpretation, like, banning overall, I would say no, don't do it. But it's like,
I would agree.
Limiting access is different than
completely just, like, banning.
And so it's like, I don't know. I've read some books. There was one book I wish I didn't read. It's horrible. Like, have you heard of Cement Garden?
Mm-mm.
Just, like, there's a lot of incest. It's kind of like Lord of the Flies, but worse.
With, like, incest in it,
because there's no incest in Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, there's no incest
in this
that.
one. There is, and, like,
jeez,
it's horror. It's honestly horrible, and I couldn't finish it because I was like, once I, like, got to that point, I was like,
you were like, no,
like, I was like, ew, no, I'm not reading this. I'm not doing that to my brain. But it's like, that was about children who lost a parent, and they basically became parental figures to their younger siblings.
Oh my god, you did tell me about this.
I've told many.
I remember this now.
It's so whack,
very bizarre.
And so they, like, you know, you get the picture. They become parental figures, and I don't know, and they're young children. They're minors.
And why are you? I don't know. Part of me is like, why are people writing.
No, yeah, like problematic,
that.
horrible. But what I'm saying is, it's like, could you imagine like a child picking that up and like in their brain, if like their parent didn't know they were picking that up and they were reading it and they like couldn't interpret that this was like, I mean, obviously the author has their own demons.
Clearly.
But I mean, like, they, like, in one way, maybe you could interpret it as being a metaphor or like a sociological theory or experience. I don't know, because that's kind of what Lord of the Flies is, right? It's like like, if kids were left to their own devices, maybe this is...
And, like, men.
This
like,
is what would happen. Yeah, there's no women.
In Lord of
just
the
men.
Flies, yeah.
Yeah, this is what would happen, right? But, like, a child, if they picked up a book like that, they would not have the cognitive ability to be like, oh, this is a metaphor or something. They don't even know how to say metaphor. Like, I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying.
I guess, like, in that sense, I don't know. I'm anti-banning books, obviously.
Yeah, I would say I am
books.
Too. Read banned books. Woo.
Like, get a tote bag. Get one of those little cute little tote bags and read banned books.
You know.
But it is interesting, like, of a topic, because I think it's more about, like, access to certain books at certain ages maybe should be.
But some books, like, I think it's fine for kids to read.
Yeah.
Banned. So
some
like,
banned books, I think, it's just, again,
it's a tough conversation to have, but
you're a parent, make decisions for your child. I don't
think you're
anything else should be making decisions for your child, really.
Especially because, like, writing is just something, like, a way to critique the world, like, critique social systems, like,
and express
stuff
yourself
like that,
and work through
and
traumas,
I don't know. I've been trying to read more banned books lately, so that's why, like, that question came up in my mind.
Anti-banning books.
Like,
I think banning Harry Potter is crazy. But if you don't want to, like, have your kid read Harry Potter for,
But I feel like it's banned for... People think it's, like, promoting the devil because witchcraft is associated with Satanism.
But
so I'm like...
And it's, like, if you're a parent and that's, like, how you feel, like,
then just don't...
It's your kid. But I don't think, like, a school system necessarily needs to ban a specific title on those grounds. Like a
secular...
Especially a secular public school, institution.
Like, why are you doing that?
Like, that's
just... Yeah. On that note,
it is controversial.
Again, just our opinions. We don't have much research to back that up, but just from our experiences as young adult women.
How do you feel as someone who wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob?
I feel like censorship.
Yeah,
I was censored as a child.
For real. And there's so many kids like you. There's so many.
I think I turned out great, so I don't know what you mean by that question.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know, like, as someone who
mental issues at all.
You were censored from...
I was. My parents were very strict.
That was made for children, technically.
Yeah, I was the kind of kid that played with wooden toys, and I played with sticks outside.
It's kind of fun.
It was fun. I was fine. Like,
there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm fine, and I think I'm less, like, dependent on, like, I don't know. I don't even know what I was gonna say. Like, I don't think I'm better than anybody else, to be honest.
You watched other shows, right?
I watched PBS Kids.
Great.
Shout out to all my PBS Kids people
PBS
out there.
Kids.
And I watched, like, old British, like, BBC masterpiece from the 80s. Like,
it.
Fawlty Towers.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Mr. Bean. That's not BBC, I don't think, but I watched a lot of Mr. Bean.
Great.
I watched a lot of Wallace and Gromit, again on BBC.
Oh my god, love Wallace and
I
Gromit.
watched a lot of Keeping Up with Appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watched Chef. If anyone knows any of those, like, let's be friends, because I had a very niche, like, string of available movies. Obviously, and Barbie. I am a Barbie girl. Like, my parents let me watch Barbie, but, like, Disney Channel, I wasn't really allowed to watch it. Nickelodeon wasn't allowed. Like, even, like, Shrek. I wasn't allowed to watch Shrek.
See, I am a child who did not really have a limited access. I remember being less than 7, and I was told, it was like, Kendall, this is TV, why 7? You shouldn't watch it. And it was like, to Nick, and I was like, no, I'm gonna watch it.
She was like, don't tell me what to do.
Being a little brat. I mean, but also it's like, I don't know. Did that affect me? I don't know. I don't think so. But I also, like, it's not like I was only watching TV as a kid. That's also the difference.
That's the thing, like, I think.
Between today.
Yeah. Like, I. Actually, no. I did not like reading when I was a kid. I would read, like, Magic Treehouse, but I was, like, having this weird rebellion phase where I didn't want to.
In middle school, I did. But
I would say, like, late elementary school, I started picking up reading.
Yeah.
With, like, Percy Jackson, that really was what?
Warriors.
Oh, Divergent.
Harry Potter.
Oh, the Warrior Cat
books. Oh my gosh, the Animorphs.
Oh, I never read those, but I loved the cover. Like, that's a core memory, like, being in the Scholastic Book Fair and seeing the Animorphous books. Amazing. And I'm sure they were great books. I don't know. But I was, like, in this weird rebellion phase as a
Series
child.
of Unfortunate Events.
That was good. I did watch that. Or read that. And watch it.
I actually haven't fully watched the Netflix series.
The series is good. I haven't finished it. But the movie's okay. But the series is good. I remember the books were really good.
Did you ever read The Mysterious Benedict Society?
I did not.
That was a good one.
It was a good one. I loved, like, I had my Diary of a Wimpy Kid era where I'm just, like, loving, like, silly fun books. That's when I realized, like, oh, like, reading can be silly and fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I loved, oh, you know what I loved? What was that? Really, like, it was like a mystery book series. And the girl has a cat eye glasses. What was that called?
Cat eye glasses.
Oh my god, wait, I need to figure this out.
Cat eye glasses. Oh, I loved the Judy Moody books.
Oh yeah, I read some of those too.
Those were good.
Oh, and no, I was thinking of, like,
children today don't seem to like those as much.
Because children today don't understand art.
Well, some of them have pretty good taste in books, but the Judy Moody ones aren't really popular. And I think that might be because, like, Dork Diaries, and they turned Babysitter's Club into graphic novels.
I never read that, to be honest.
They're really popular. They have the Dogman ones now. Oh my gosh. You know what's hilarious?
What?
It's called Timmy Failure.
Timmy
so
Failure.
Funny.
What kind of, is it just, like, kids book, or is it, like, mystery? What is it?
It's kind of like a Diary of the Wimpy Kid style book,
Mm-hmm.
but
I love that. So fun. I love that.
It's about this kid, and his name's Timmy, and he decides he wants to become a CEO, and his dog is his business partner, and he's like, his business is called, like, Timmy Failure Incorporated or something. And he just, like, he's a child, so his business obviously isn't doing well, but he kind of, it's like, you know, like, Family Guy, Stewie.
Yeah.
Kind of, like, almost, like, too smart as a 1-year-old.
Like, too smart baby.
It's kind of like funny. A too smart kid, and he fails a lot, and it's genuinely hilarious. Like, I picked it up at Friends of the Library the other day and was cracking up. Also,
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for that. I am really, this is gonna bother me.
Cat eyeglass. I really don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god.
Right now.
And, like, there was a warning on it in our elementary school. There was a warning on one of the books because it was kind of scary. And I remember being like, I don't give a fuck. And I read it anyways.
Ginny B. Jones were always good too.
Oh my god, what is the name of this book? Okay. I'm just gonna give up, but I'm gonna look this up later in my own time. I'm so curious. I'm gonna text Kendall at, like, 2 a.m. being like, I've remembered the name of the book.
I'm excited.
All right. That's all we got for you today.
Yep.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We always I just feel so lucky that people actually listen to our little rambles. That's what this feels like.
Sometimes.
But anyway, thanks for listening. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.